Hi, welcome to another rant style video. Apologies if my voice seems a bit off. I don't know why, but these last couple of days, my voice has just decided it doesn't feel like working, which I don't really know the reason for. But anyways, this episode, I want to talk about something I love as opposed to something I don't like. See, I've complained about Blue Shield Officer. I've complained about, you know, the Starlight server and the reasons I left it. But today I want to spread some positivity and rant about a change that I really, really like. I want to talk about Funkystation's Metashield. Now, this is going to be a bit of a explaining what a Metashield is before I get into how it's changed and what it affects. So let's start with it. Essentially, a Metashield is something that is not known by a character. As in, your character wouldn't know that blobs exist or that nukies exist. Because in Funkystation's specific case, you wouldn't know about any specific antagonists. And Funkystation's Metashield is really interesting. Not out of what it restricts, because a lot of servers apply this weird blanket solution to the Metashield, where all characters don't know things until the reveal condition is hit. And honestly, I'm surprised no one's ever thought of this new Metashield before, because it's just really good. So, to be more specific, a Metashield prevents you from knowing specific antagonists. This depends on, well, the server, quite frankly. Like, for example, I'm pretty sure Wizards just straight up gave up on their Metashield due to a lot of circumstances, but, I mean, let's be real, it's probably just their lack of admins. And, certain other servers just don't have a Metashield because it's just not the kind of server they want to run. Or they don't have a Metashield because they just don't have antagonists. Who really knows? But essentially, as a standard crew member, at least on Funkystation, you only know specific things. If you know anything else, that's Metashielded and it has to be revealed to you via certain conditions. Now, these reveal conditions really depend on the server. Some things like the original Wizard's Den implanter implementation made it so that if someone had a storage implanter, there was essentially no way to prove they had it and perform a check of their person with an implanter, which was terrible for roleplay because it made the storage implanter the best item in the whole game. And there's also things like nukies. Nukies are completely unable to do stealth ops most of the time because, well, people see blood red, they immediately scream nuki sec. And the Metashield, I think, is probably the single most important rule in how it's constructed. Because too little of a Metashield, antagonists aren't really able to do anything. Too strict of a Metashield, and security isn't able to do anything. I don't know why, but something random just turned on in my house. What the hell? Anyway. Funkystation has done something really unique where there's essentially 3 different Metashields for each group. In the first one, we have normal crew. And normal crew don't know anything at all. They don't know anything at all about anything. Like, you don't know shit until it's revealed. Like, for example, Metashields can be lifted by pretty much any central command announcement. So the ACDM increase thing, that's a reveal condition for the Cosmic Cult existing because there's no other reason for ACDM to exist besides the cultists. Unusual activity recalls are a Metashield break for revolutionaries because there's no other reason why the shuttle would be recalled. Biohazard announcements because there's no other level 5 or level 7 biohazard. War declaration, because the nuki's directly saying, we are about to launch an all-out attack on your station, Plants vs. Zombie style. You kind of can't shield that. Essentially, the Metashield is usually restricted to whatever makes sense. However, and this is the interesting part, command members also serve as a lifting of the shield condition for different antagonists. Because command members do not have a Metashield on Funkystation. At all. Command members, although I don't know if this includes the Internal Affairs agents of Central Command, I assume not, but I'm not sure. It also could be argued either way. I don't really care either way. Essentially, command members know everything and can tell people everything. So, if there's people running around consuming organs, sure, the rest of the crew is under the impression that changelings are extinct, but a head of security seeing people with organs, or a CMO seeing people coming in with an arm missing, they could probably report to the rest of command changelings might exist. Obviously, the crew would have no idea why there's an error with the wanted console. But a research director, they wouldn't be out of the question if they specifically went to try and cover the RD server because ninjas want to go for that. Anyone else doing that, that's not allowed. Unless the RD specifically tells them. And this is where the Metashield really gets interesting here. So, for example, how do I put this? Let's say here that, like, there's a changeling happening. Security and command would not want the crew to know about that. Why? Corporate secrets. See, the Metashield is an out-of-character term. In character, corporate secrets. An average crew member, you don't know about potential threats, because NT, and I'm paraphrasing the Metashield itself here, just for clarity, NT just dictates that the average crew member is here to do their job, not worry about threats, and any distractions from their job would be lost productivity. So, they stay here, and they stay calm, and they stay unaware until something requires it. Other things, implanters, chameleon items, stealth items, not include, are also meta-shielded, but who really cares? And obviously there's things that aren't shielded, like, for example, non-NT-aligned organizations exist, like the Syndicate, because fucking obviously, Syndicates are enemies of NT. The nuke disk, I mean, if you have the nuke disk in the code, you can blow it up. That's not shielded, because that's just logic. Certain items, like the guns, command items, like RD suit, and like really high value items are not shielded. The idea that an agent or other bad actor has goals, because obviously a person comes to the station to do illegal things, they have a specific goal in mind, along with typical appearances. Like, if someone that is named P. Chandra shows up, but they're a lizard with a mask on, you can imagine pretty immediately that they're, not a great person. Anyway, from here, we can talk about what this does, now that we all understand the Metashield. And again, I want to reiterate, command members don't have a Metashield. They can reveal and act as a revealing condition to the shield to different people on the station, if they so choose. Security also has a minor version of the, like, Metashield. It's a little... Actually, I should probably talk about their Metashield, because security officers have a bit of an interim Metashield called the Security Training Manual. So, basically, all materials confidential, blah, blah, blah. Section 1, corporate secrets. Basically, deal with external forces. The Syndicate exists, blah, blah, blah. Essentially, the security personnel are aware that Syndicate agents may be on the station and may be doing espionage and other things. So, security aren't aware of the precise tools a syndicate agent would use, but they are aware that there could be antagonistic activity on the station from the syndicate. This means that someone being an agent isn't explicitly metashielded, and that they can choose, if they so desire, to do something about it. They could choose to believe someone is a syndicate agent, or they could choose not to. If there's evidence they're a syndicate agent, they could treat them as such. Additionally, they're also aware that revolutionaries could exist. Essentially, they're an outside force that cannot be resolved through de-escalation because, well, mind control, but they're not aware of specific mind control, and they should be aware that they should refer to command members for more instruction. Which, this, I will talk about a little later, this is the first big change, and the thing I really like about it. You may come across specific items, magic, diseases, blob, xenofauna, also blob, but last one probably zombies, whatever. Security essentially are aware that certain things might exist. And they don't have to act like, oh, this doesn't exist, this could never possibly exist. They can think about it and figure out, hey, this could exist. I want to respond to it by talking to my command members, which would be smart. Now, for all the good that this new Metashield does and brings, it does unfortunately have a couple of minor flaws, which they're so innumerable and so inconsequential that I'm going to refer to them here before I get on with the good. The bad. I've seen a fair bit of people not really understanding that this doesn't mean you cannot refer to the antagonists as their name once they're revealed, or if they're obviously revealed. So, for example, right, like, there's a thing in the example section, like, knowing someone is a Rev is shielded, but you may report them for unsolicited union activities. Heretics, traitors, theft or murder, changelings, or whatever. And I think a section in this should be included that common names for antagonists do exist in character. So, how do I explain this? There's a section at the end here that that the entire shift must play out without ever naming or dealing with specific antagonists. Metashield is equal to corporate secrets, which do exist in character. NT is aware of threats, selective to who they give information to, paraphrasing the last section of it, of course. But this should be very specifically, I think, a section included where, like, NT has a specific name for each antagonist that command members can reveal to a person. And I think even you could have items spawn in head offices or on stations, like, just shove them in a locker with, like, a folder that contains information about each antagonist. In fact, you could expand this and make these manuals objectives for other antagonists. I think having a physical manual that could break the Metashield is a really good idea that should be expanded on. Corporate secrets right now are still just a roleplay thing. I think giving them some physicality will really help add to the notion of corporate secrets as a, like, proper game mechanic, and also save people have to give long-winded explanation about antagonists, as well as giving them a proper name in character. Another thing, this would solve the second issue I have, the acting problem. See, Funkystation has an issue where a lot of people don't like playing command members, and especially head of security. Trust me, I know. It's awful. It's an awful experience. I think, honestly, I might do an entire video about why playing security, even in a medium roleplay environment, is so impossibly hard, and why I think some of it is kind of caused by, like, just certain weird things that aren't properly included in, like, SOPs. Because I think SOPs should like, just, I think, honestly, I might want to try to write about Funkystation's SOPs, because I think a lot of them are really, really lacking. They either have no teeth, are completely meaningless, or essentially do nothing. Like, they're either not restrictive at all, way too restrictive, way too specific, unreasonable, or just made up. Like, SOPs should reflect reality and how the people actually play the game. But right now, they're just kind of not, you know? Anyway. The good. Now. The good. This really makes people rely on heads of staff. For reference, there has always been a bit of a disconnect, especially with QM, CMO, RD, fair bit of Hop, especially Hop. Holy shit, Hop. And CE, like Haas is honestly probably the only head that actually mattered before this as a head of staff, purely because they had armory access. Same with Cap, because you have Cap. And I think having this work as a incentive for people to interact with their heads whenever a problem is happening is a really good idea. Like, I have seen heads of staff have more power and more sway among the crew, and people actually sheltering with their command members and surrounding them at the first sign of an emergency to try and poke them, like, what's going on? What's going on? And the amount of roleplay and tension that creates between command, sec, crew, and central command is awesome. I think that is probably the best thing that the Metashield has done. Additionally, I don't have sources for this because I'm not an admin. I think this has probably removed Metashield off issues. Like, for reference, whenever you make a Metashield that is restrictive, you always have things, and I mean always, don't you bullshit me saying, oh, but this thing. No, there are always going to be situations in which the Metashield is restrictive way too much, and something that should probably reveal the condition, reveal it to the person in character, kind of just ends up not properly revealing it and not properly, it's, how do I put this? Essentially, syndicate implanters. Someone, steals a gun off you, puts it in their storage implant. That would be a reveal condition for storage implant. But however, certain servers, like Wizards End's old Metashield, required it so that if you lost line of sight with them for a second, and there was any amount of potential ways that they could have gotten rid of the gun, you can't implant check them. This led to situations where I'd get arrested for stealing a gun, and I'd just get away with it. Like, I'd steal Cap's pistol, and it's just gone for the whole round because there's no way for Sec. There was no way for Sec to reveal, oh yeah, he has a fucking storage implanter. Like, I literally had an entire local out of character conversation with the head of security about how fucking stupid the Metashield is, because they're like literally said at LOC, you have a storage implanter. I know you do. I just can't do anything about it. Which is an awful feeling, because people should never feel incentivized to metagame. And sometimes Metashields cause that. Instead, that host would have been able to be like, oh yeah, you have a fucking storage implanter. Obviously, Jesus. Like, yeah, no shit. Of course I have a storage implanter. NT at some point has probably found an unlocked uplink from the hundreds of Syndicate agents that have showed up. They probably know what the Syndicate is capable of. They've also probably had to deal with the Blood Call or the Cosmic Call. The Blood Call's not properly added, it's enemy only. And the other shit. Like, there is a lot you could have done with the Metashield, and I think this is probably the best solution to it, because I highly doubt there's been admin issues like this. People want to cry, oh, metagaming on fucking gloves. It's not metagaming. Haas is aware you have them. The head of security is aware that you're a thief. There's no incentive to test gloves, because if he found mysterious fibers, he just knows. Now, this has impacted certain antagonists more than others, like nuclear operatives, I think, are made a fair bit stronger because there's a lot of you can't confirm nukies exist now without like a 3-stage check. So sec response time has been a fair bit slower, but at the same time, in an MRP server, why the fuck are the crew rushing to fight nuclear operatives? Why are they doing that? That's not something they should be doing. And it's been very explicit. Hell, there's even a PR by Icepick, the head admin of Funkystation, talking about, like, crew should not be dealing with nuclear operatives. They should be the last defense whenever possible. Which they should be. In addition, Changelings are, okay, actually, I do have something to say about Changelings here. Changelings are fucking boring. Like, the Metashield has made Changelings insanely boring, because for reference, and I'm going to paraphrase the, command training manual, Changelings. Some crewmates might be hostile predatory life forms, Changelings, similar form, discreetly, quietly, death the crew order to survive, life forms are extinct to the public, lie in order to preserve the hard work of NT's marketing team. Yeah. This also basically had like D-shields the like space dragons and carp, because dragons being meta-shielded doesn't make any fucking sense, because dragons can be found on like by salve on planets. Like, Christ. Yeah, ninjas, revenants also exist. Exorcism, prior deaths, heretics, cults, blah blah blah. Oh, this also gives minor tangent here. This also gives chaplains, like command members, a reason to first out of cult activity, but assign someone to the chaplain, make sure they don't get taken out in the circumstance. But anyway, about Changelings, and I might do an entire rant about how Changelings are kind of a dead end design, because Changelings, as they are, if you're discovered as a Changeling, command just fucking kills you, and it's very NRP. Which, not to say that security players or command are playing badly, it's just kind of what they're required to do because of the way Changeling is designed. Yeah, like, Changelings have to murder people to survive, so they're found out, they're RR'd immediately by the crematorium. Now, I think there should be a difference here. I think NT should say that Changelings that do not rely on crew death exist, and they should be treated as crew, but assigned very specific things and then killed if they are proven to have killed a crew member. This would make magistrate matter more, lawyer matter more, internal affairs agent matter more, and detective matter more. This would make so many roles matter more, make Changelings more fun, because hiding the fact that you killed someone and, you know, not being found out isn't a death sentence. You can argue against it. Now, at the same time, I think lowering the amount of Changelings a little bit, if that change gets implemented, is kind of required, because, you know. But I think assigning, like, being able to say, Changelings, you can exist as long as you follow very specific rules, and if you break them, we kill you. I think that's a fair trade. Because sometimes Changelings, like, I just don't want to go to killing spree as a Changeling. I get found out. I get RR'd because I wanted to do something interesting, and that's just not going to happen ever. It's just, I don't know. It's really, really unfortunate that that's just, like, the reality of Changeling. But I think my idea as a change could really help the antagonist shine. Anyway, that's about it for this video. I really, really like the Metashield changes. It solves so many issues for so many antagonists and security personnel. It makes people, it's a better roleplay thing. And I've had, like, entire rounds dedicated to just talking about the Metashield with the crew, because if an antagonist shows up the crew can just harass their heads of staff about it, which I think is really, really, really cool. It makes it's a very good roleplay thing. Hell, I like forced the Nanotrezor representative at gunpoint, which is a shift you'll see soon. Don't you worry, I'm very excited to edit that one. Where essentially the NTR, I forced them at gunpoint to reveal things to the crew because my employers wanted me to. Not actually, but you know, it sounds like they wanted me to. I guess, sure, you know. Anyway, yeah, I'd like to thank my channel members: Florbacaster, User Face This, All Tarts, Subky Cat, Dorstar, Point 23, Weapons World of Flip Chimmer, Abrabus, or not Abrabus, Sathir Lapin. I guess he's just saying that. You too can join the channel member list, support what I do, and yeah, that's the video. Yeah, sorry to cut this lawyer RP that's going on in the video short, but I'll continue this shift next time I have a rant happen. So, you know. Anyway, bye.